Okay, this part of the online class will be about the Tiestall redo at Michigan State. If it's something you're interested in, there's some things here that might be helpful to you. So this was a typical Tiestall at Michigan State. This is ripping everything out, leaving the mattresses in place, but all the other metal was going to be coming out. This is an end stall, got that extra loop on the left there to prevent the animals from walking through out into the hallways. This is a near their vet room or records room, so we didn't want animals there. You also got some gates that were taken off that prevented them from going in those alleys there. One of the nice things about Michigan State, nice, pretty big front alleys to get through. You also know, if you take a close look there, the feed doors that swing down and hold in place to allow the animal or the researchers to prevent animal consumption, especially when you're letting all the animals loose to take them to the milking parlor. So one of the things they did there was they put in these tubs underneath. Since they had to have the doors in place, we wanted to allow they wanted to allow the animals to continue to drink, shared drinking cups between the two stalls and most of the barn. So having that back behind, but also behind the brisket locator, also trying to keep the stalls reasonably dry. Michigan State is legendary for keeping its somatic cell down below 100,000. So it's sort of things have been sitting a while as they're doing the redo. Needed to be, yeah, the bowls need to be clean, but you can see the orientation there. You got dividers between the stalls, keep the animals from eating each other's feed, doors that swing down, and then the buckets that go underneath the drinking cups, drinking bowls, and then the drainage system underneath to allow the water to leave. So this is one of the systems there. You got a shower drain, flexible line connected to that shower drain, and that connects to the major drain along the front end, allows the water to flow out and into the drop. So redo going through. They had to do a lot of curb fixes. A lot of the stanchions had, broken out there, so they had a lot of super high tensile strength cement poured in place to allow the new stalls to be put in the curb and securely anchored. So that was one of the things they worked on. This picture's here to remind me to say about they had a high tensile concrete that came in buckets, and then they had the Rust-Oleum epoxy that they put over top of everything. So you got kind of a self-leveling concrete, high tensile strength for the base of the feed, and then the epoxy that was done over top. So you can sort of see that here. If you get down there, you see kind of a two-tone look. They went through, and all the pitted concrete, they put in that high tensile strength self-leveling concrete to fill in all the pitted concrete. And then they went through, and over top they put an epoxy to make it easier to clean. The petitions are in there to pull the water line, which is that older line there that you see. You have a neck rail up top forward of the brisket locator, and then the new replacement stalls. They had the old stalls were sunk into the concrete. These replacement stalls had brackets that they could be anchored in place over top of the fix that they did after they chiseled out the old Tiestalls. Closer look, that darker area is that self-leveling concrete, and then they did the epoxy, taped it off out to a certain level there. I think it was about 4 feet out, making it easier to clean things up. So here we're getting close to kind of the final arrangement. They put in the drinking bowls or put those back in. The neck chains are back in there. So you have the water buckets. These in this case are out front, but they are also still connected to that water line. You can see that you've got the curb there out front, and then you've got a lot of pressure treated wood that was cut and fitted to create a nest for that line on the underneath the buckets. So you can see here how they put that wood together and created a channel for that line underneath the water cups to run through. So leveling things out and creating a shelf, splitting things up. This, and also provided a catch for the doors that you'll see in a minute, feed doors. So again, that putting that shelf together with the treated lumber to create that channel for that to go through. So this is kind of the arrangement in a new situation. You've got the drinking cup coming in. This, I believe, is to an individual stall for that particular cow. You got the shower drain at the bottom, connected to a flex line, which goes to PVC, and then that PVC, as we discussed previously, circles around and drains into the drop behind the cows. So here's that line anchored in place, your flex line underneath. This side is put out front, but again, we've got those buckets to catch that water slopping in, hopefully going to keep things from getting real wet out front. That's an underneath look of the whole thing there. Again, a lot of work to get that in place, but the idea behind it all with those shared drinking cups is that you're going to keep things drier and keep things cleaner, or the opportunity to clean drinking cups in a Tiestall situation. Here's a view of the end. We come down to the corner there, a couple of flex elbows that lead to a line that takes the water to the drop behind the cows. You see your first petition put in place there, keeping the feed within reach of the cow. So starting to put in the covering over the water line. The idea behind that is you're trying to keep the dirt and grime from collecting in all the areas in and around that pipe that leads to the drain. There's no real slope to the barn, but if there's enough space, the gravity allows the water to get to the drains. The water lines are installed. You have that upper line I believe, serving as your new water line, the neck rail. You have another one up front to keep the animal from moving forward. That also acts as a pivot for the doors that you'll see coming in here, I think, in the next slide. Okay, there's that covering, trying to keep the feed away from all the nooks and crannies around that line. You got the water lines in place, that feed table ready to go. Okay, here's the doors are put in place. They have these metal kind of U-shaped things there with springs. The doors flip down, and then you pull up on those metal, and that retracts the 2 points that are sticking up in the air and catches on the wood on the other side. So metal on the wood allows for a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more wear point. You're seeing that gate that hangs down at the end pivots into place to prevent the animals from getting out, but swings out of the way to get a skid loader in there if you need to. So this is the front view, stall partitions if you need to, or the dividers, they flip up, they rotate up to give you some more clearance in the front, although in this barn, huge clearance, not a real problem. I don't think those partitions would ever move. The doors there, they've got the green brackets there, 2 on each door. They're a pivot point around that pipe. And then the points at the top there swing down and catch on that wood that surrounds the drainage pipe going out.